It's a bull. This coin might as well just have bulls on both sides. Good morning and happy Thanksgiving, folks. I know it's a bit premature, but I figured I'd wish you happy Thanksgiving beforehand because I am not going to be open tomorrow or Friday. We will be closed on Thursday and Friday. Not sure if I'll get a video out on Friday. I'll try, but I think I can take a couple days off, I think. Maybe. We'll see. I'll let you know. But this is not Florida, by the way. I got the live turkey cam up. Don't ask me why. I just figured, I wouldn't know a turkey from a chicken except for the head there. The head, you can tell it's a turkey. But here's the live turkey cam. I don't know where it's at. It's at some farm sanctuary for wild and crazy turkeys. Well, anyways, happy Thanksgiving, and let's move into prices today and see what's going on. Oh, turkey barn at the farm sanctuary, wherever that is. So if you enjoy looking at live turkeys, I look at them every day. No, I'm just teasing. If you like looking at live turkeys, there you go, the turkey barn at the farm sanctuary. Let's see what's going on here, and I'm going to move over to spot prices. The hemorrhaging is pretty much over from yesterday's monkey hammering, or the monkey hammering we saw starting at the beginning of the week. You want to hear something funny? I forgot it was Thanksgiving weekend this week. I thought it was next week. Don't ask me why. Now all of a sudden the smackdown, the monkey hammering by the big commercial banks out there, who allowed by the CFTC, who's supposed to be the regulating agency, right before a holiday weekend. I mean, the timing is impeccable. I've said this for a long time. Smackdowns usually occur before or after slow trading times before a holiday, usually not after a holiday, but right before or during international holidays when trading is real slow. That's typically when they slam it. And guess what? Had I known it was Thanksgiving, I might have figured it out yesterday and mentioned it, but no less, the manipulative moves on COMEX in the paper markets for both gold and silver, and I believe they brought gold down just to bring silver down. I think that there's some big losses out there with the silver short positions. Ted Butler talks about that when he talks about the COT reports and how much these short positions are in losses for right now. I think they're back down. They were at a $10 million loss last week or something like that. Or $10 billion loss, I'm sorry. The big commercial banks were. Ted says they're currently down to an $8 billion. And again, these smackdowns are nothing but manipulative moves. I put in a complaint to CFTC yesterday, and I got back an email actually fairly quickly. But it was like they ignored the questions that I had. They said, well, if you have any evidence or documents that you can provide us proving this type of, I was almost like going to write back a nasty email. Go F yourselves, you dumb shits. The CFTC is not any different than the regulating agency that was supposed to watch Bernie Madoff. And you see what a great job they did with Bernie Madoff. Bernie Madoff said they came to audit him one time, and he just brought him in the office. I think he probably took him to dinner, bought him a drink, maybe gave him a big fat cigar, and the frickin' idiot didn't even bother to do anything. But that's not untypical. You got to remember who government hires typically. Not too bright people, obviously, or either that or they're in bed with these companies. And that's not uncommon too, because a lot of times you'll see that, for example, someone from the CFTC will go to work for one of these, go to work for JP Morgan, or go to work for Goldman Sachs, or someone from Goldman Sachs or JP will go and head one of these agencies. They're like interchangeable, so you got to wonder sometimes. The foxes are guarding the hen house, folks. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. So the hens, or in this case today, I think it would be the turkeys, are not safe. So, well, let's take a look at markets. I think we're good for the rest of the weekend. Maybe Friday, possibly we could see a little more monkey hammering, but I kind of doubt it. I think that they unloaded both barrels on this deal right here, and they're on the whole industry, people all in the industry, a lot of YouTubers you're going to see out there from yesterday and today, and a lot of people that write articles are going to be railing about this because it's been so obvious in our faces. Folks, it's just crazy. You want to hear something interesting, too? Is the CFTC, when they sent me an email, they said, well, Mr. Kuzmar, we've only had 2 reports from you. One was yesterday, and they sent me they said that they had a report from me in May 1st or something in 2012. And that was right when we had the big smackdown back then, when I first really realized how crooked these motherfuckers are. So, and it's true, man. The COMEX and these commercial short banks, I mean, that's just crooked, folks, man. What they've done to small investors and miners for decades now, these commercial banks and the COMEX for allowing it to happen, and the CFTC, it's criminal. It's criminal. That's not just my opinion anymore. That's a fact, all right? Well, my opinion of a fact, all right? So fuck these people. Excuse my language. I get a little testy on the idea. But, you know, I'm not too worried about it. In the long run, they will fail. They always do. Look at the prices right now. Do you think silver would be at this price, unless there were serious issues with shortages and serious issues with their whole program? It's going to fall apart on them. Not to mention, again, a lot of people are upset right now because of this smackdown. A lot of people are really noticing it. The word is out there. That's the problem that the CFTC and COMEX is going to have now, and the commercial banks, that the word is out. It's finally escaped. It's no longer in the realms of conspiracy theory, people with tinfoil hats. It's a fact. We know it. Even people that were in denial about the manipulation in the gold and silver markets now openly admit it. Pretty much most of them do, except for anybody that works for commercial media, commercial, corporate news. Anyone who works for corporate commercial news, they still won't admit it. But does that surprise you? It shouldn't. Who do they work for, right? The big commercial banks. J.P. Morgan, too big to fail, too big to jail. They all are. There was a good article on ZH actually about that. Well, let me move into prices here. Again, I think it's going to be about sideways. We're going to see, I think this week, for the remainder of the week, maybe even Friday. Who knows what's going to happen Friday? We'll see. But we're going to see markets sideways. Global markets are open because Thanksgiving is just a U.S. holiday. So I'm curious to see what international markets are going to do. If anything, they may drift sideways again and a little bit lower. However, I suspect we're going to start seeing some strength in these markets before the end of the year, and we may even be quite surprised. Again, that's just an opinion. But buy the dips, folks. This is we're in a bull market since 2016 in gold and silver. I know people that younger folks don't understand what this bull market looks like. It's a long-term thing. Bull markets in gold and silver usually stretch out over long periods, and they're cyclical too, with like bubble-like territory. Gold and silver is going to the moon. I know that term is probably overused in the precious metals industry, but it's going to the moon. It's going to be a roller coaster ride to the moon. You're going to have some dips. You're going to have some big scary valleys that you're going to have to ride into, but it's going to the moon. And it can't help not to in a fiat debt-driven world that we're living in right now. Let's look at the overnight range, just 1779, basically 1780 to 1800, so in that $20 range right there. Currently at 1783. We'll look at the 24-hour chart and see. I don't think there's any activity going on right now. In fact, I think that the manipulators, and if the CFTC is watching them, has probably told them, hey guys, back off. But I don't think CFTC says anything. They just turn a blind eye to all this. That's my opinion. But I digress. I think we're going to see some sideways action, maybe a little bit down, a little drifty tomorrow in international markets, tonight in international markets, and then Friday, who knows what's going to happen. Let's take it. We'll look at 24-hour charts here shortly too. Silver 23.43 in the low, 23.70. They never whacked it below that 22. Knock on my wood head. You hear my wooden head? Knock on my wood head that they're not going to. We're not jinxing ourselves, but I just can't see it unless they plan on snapping it down below 23 on the global markets or the overnight markets, which would be very daring on their part because, man, they're just openly committing crimes. Again, my opinion, these are crimes. And they are crimes, folks. Even though there may not be a law against these fuckers manipulating this stuff, it's a crime. It really is. It's a shame and it's a crime. And it's a shame that CFTC allows this to happen or turns a blind eye to it. We'll get to that in a little bit as well. Look at those ranges. We'll look at the 24-hour chart. Platinum, boy, is looking wonderful. But sub $1,000. I know some of you bought platinum at higher levels, but relax. Don't worry about it. Platinum, like silver and gold, is on a roller coaster ride to the moon. This provides anybody that hasn't bought platinum yet at a sub $1,000 level. It's a fucking steal, man. Just buy it. Again, this is my opinion, folks, and remember that you need to ultimately make your own choices in what you're doing. But in my opinion, all this stuff is a great buy. You're going to look back one day at gold below 2,000, silver below 30, and platinum below 1,000. If you even remember these times, you're going to look back and say, wow, remember when it was that price? Just like you do now when you look back and you say, remember when silver was $10 an ounce, and remember when it was $5 an ounce, and you can say the same with gold. Remember when gold was $550 an ounce and $300 an ounce? Yes, okay, you're going to say the same thing about these prices today in the future here. And it won't be too far off in the future, I think, either. I think this whole game of manipulation is going to fall apart on them at any point now. CFTC's got to be getting worried with the number of phone calls and the number of, and I hope you guys are calling and filing complaints and just getting in their faces a little bit. I don't mean in a rude, you don't catch flies with vinegar, you catch them with honey, so be polite about it, but we need to be in their faces about this, and I hope you guys are calling the CFTC and reminding them that they should be doing their job. Let's take a look at the 24-hour spot price here and do a quick, here we go. Again, look at that, not much action, a little dip here in New York at the open, right after the open. But again, I think we're going to see a drifty market sideways in the spot gold prices here. And that was yesterday's close, 1810, drifting down to 1790. But there's the real smackdown on Monday. That's son of a bitch, right? And it's so obvious. It's so damn obvious. They don't get it, I guess. They don't think we see this, really. And the CFTC doesn't see this, really. They're economists. Give me a break. 24-hour spot silver price. Again, look here, us in the green today, 24-hour charts. Just like last night, I think they really blew both barrels open. They've been kind of hitting it with 1,000 cuts for the last couple weeks, and there's been a tug of war between the up and down. And I believe, again, the takedown in gold was really an effort to take down silver, because there are some serious issues with silver supplies out there, folks. I'm telling you, there is a serious shortage of above ground availability. Again, availability is a key word. Someone say, well, Brian, how can there be shortage of silver? There's above ground 355 billion ounces. Again, available ounces. Remember how many of those ounces are used in industry, how much are used in investment, and how many people are just not selling, especially at these levels. And one of the things I've been mentioning to you for a long time, I am a retail precious metal dealer. I've been doing this since '77. I didn't see any hardly capitulation in 2012 after they monkey hammered the markets down from $50 an ounce silver down to down to 13 at some point during 2013, 14, 15 or something like that, where it stayed for a while until 2016. That was, we had a genuine bull market. The gold and silver markets were going to continue to stay at those levels that they were in 2012, but again, that was pure criminal manipulation, folks. And opinion, I'm going to stop saying opinion. That was pure criminal manipulation, and what they're doing today is the same thing. The criminal part would be my opinion, because again, there's no specific laws. Like the casino can make the laws as they go, and they can change the laws as they go, and that's exactly what the COMEX casino does. But the CFTC should be preventing this, and all CFTC has done is nothing. They've allowed small investors and miners to get hurt to the tunes of billions of dollars. It's criminal, folks. And the people at CFTC that's allowed this to happen probably should be fired, never allowed back into any kind of job that's similar to this, and maybe even jailed themselves. I'm sorry. That's opinion. All right. Well, let's move along to, I'm kind of curious to see what's happening in the stock market here the day before. Not too good, folks. So, one day you're going to be watching my videos and I'm going to tell you, I bought stocks, I'm buying stocks. And I'm going to do that when there's blood in the streets, because I just been waiting for this bubble to burst, and everyone has. I'm not just being a naysayer here. Even the corporate talking heads are always at awe how this market continues to chug on, but it's not a matter of if it's going to crash, it's a matter of when. And there's some people speculating it's going to happen in the holiday season here. So we are in the holiday season, and look at this across the board. Everything's in the red. Gold not as much as the others, though, at this point. Again, I think they unloaded both barrels on gold yesterday. Let's see what they do this week. Craig Hemke at Sprott talks about a new way of smashing gold. It's kind of interesting. I see Sprott, who really, I don't think, talked much about gold manipulation for many years, now really talking about it pretty heavily. So it's nice to see people in the industry all in the same wavelength. Let's kind of read this a little bit. The TF metal, okay. Writing tonight's brought money lends credence to the contention of one subscribers that bullion banks just use a new mechanism of future market manipulation to halt and then reverse the recent rally in gold prices. Now, this is gold prices, not necessarily silver. He's talking about. In doing so, Hemke maintains the banks almost surely violated position limits, and so he's urged gold investors to complain about it to the U.S. Commodity Futures Trading Commission. While the commission is generally useless, it's true, complaints might at least let the banks and the commission know that people are on them. Very interesting. This is why kind of yesterday you watched my video. I gave you the, I'm going to do it again today, but we definitely need to be filing complaints with the CFTC. I mean, it'll probably go nowhere. You should see the email they sent me back. But you know what? It'll frighten them. When they start getting lots of emails and lots of look-sees and lots of people saying, I know what you guys are doing. I'm going to call my legislator. I'm going to call this. I'm going to call that. I'm going to call the media. Again, be polite about it, but just let them know we know what's up, and they're not going to pull the wool over our eyes anymore. So let's, that was a long one here. Let me hit the home button and see if there's any other articles in gata.org. And really not too much. Oh gosh, look, JP Morgan to pay $60 million to settle precious metals spoofing lawsuit. There you go, right there. JP Morgan agreed to pay $60 million to settle class action litigation by investors. Now, this is a lawsuit. This is not their manipulation of COMEX markets or London markets, whatever they do. This is about a lawsuit by some investors, and this is also very cool to see. So, folks, they are committing crimes, and yes, the people that are supposed to be watching them are just, again, the foxes are guarding the hen house. CFTC is either worthless or in bed with these manipulators. Well, let's move along here, and I'm going to get out of this real quick. One of the things I was going to say is file a complaint with the CME Group, but again, these guys are the casino owners. They own COMEX, so it's basically like complaining to the casino. They don't care. They're going to file it in the garbage, file 13, but you can try filing a complaint with the CME Group. Might not be a bad idea. They might get a little frightened if they get 10,000 over time. They get 10,000 complaints about this, but I guess obviously to date they really haven't cared too much. But again, this is really just starting to go public in a big way. The one complaint that I think most of you folks should file is with the CFTC. Again, this is my opinion. You can do it if you want. File a complaint form. Let them know that, let's see, disruptive or manipulative trading activities in futures. That's the one you want to hit, number one. Number D, and then explain kind of what we've been talking about, how these big short positions have manipulated the price of gold, and it's hurt a lot of small investors, including yourself maybe, also hurt miners. Explain to them that, that their lack of doing anything is because they're going to email you back. And again, don't worry about these people emailing you back. They're toothless dogs, all right? So, I mean, be polite, though. Don't be mean and don't be threatening, but they're toothless dogs. You know, they can't even control their own people, all right? Or either that or they're in bed with them, like I said. So don't think that they're going to come after you anyway. What's the CFTC going to do? You limit your futures trading? So again, don't be afraid of sending an email or calling these people and letting them know that we know what's going on. Disruptive, manipulated trading activities in the futures, options, or swaps market. In this case, in the futures market. Disruptive, right there, folks. Disruptive and manipulated that's D. And again, fill it out properly. Fill out the rest of it, and you'll get an email back. Them acting dumb, of course, will provide us some proof. But, you know, keep the email up with them. Let them know that we're not letting this go easily. Well, that's really about that for that. Happy Thanksgiving again. Hey, Seeking Alpha, not too much here, one of my favorite websites to take a look at. So we're just going to move into Zero Hedge. And I'll make a few, since it's the end of the week for me, kind of, I'll make a few political commentations there. Why do they do that? Because they hate the idea of freedom. They hate the idea of personal independence. That's why they hate that particular person. And you know, it's not about individualism anymore. It's about the collective for these assholes. So that's why they hate them. And amongst other reasons. I'm not going to go into details. You've heard enough of this. Another comics price smash. We just read that. CEO of world's most important bank, which is JP Morgan. Too big to fail. Too big to jail. And these guys are really criminals. They should be in jail, in my opinion. All right. Rabobank, as it has become, have yachts. I'm going to call it it's not, inflation is not going to be called the dollar tree anymore. It's going to be called the $25 tree. I thought, it's a good article, and it's more serious than what I just made it out to be, but I thought that was kind of cute. It's going to be called the $25 tree. The Q3 GDP slightly revised higher, but still misses expectations. Is that any surprise, folks? And do you really believe the GDP numbers? I think they're padded as well, just like the CPI and the PPE numbers. They're all padded. It's bullshit. U.S. durable goods orders unexpected first setback. Nothing really. Number of Americans filing first-time jobless benefits was lowest since 1969. That's kind of interesting, but I don't know. Well, of course they can spend anything into good news, but there's nothing good about that, really. Why is there first-time jobless benefits not out there? Because there are jobs available, but they don't pay shit. And again, not the fault of small businesses who can't afford to pay more. It's the fault of governments who tax more, take more, and central banks who print more. And again, printing more money is another form of taxation that screws the working class. De Blasio, gosh darn, is that guy still in charge? That's just a shame. And that's why everyone from New York is moving to Florida right there, and causing our real estate prices to go stupid. But no less, that's why I'm seeing a lot more Florida and New York tags down here, is people that have half a brain and are sick of being treated like slaves are moving from New York to Florida. Does this surprise you folks right here? It doesn't surprise me at all, but let's, come on. I think we'll kind of end it in politics. It's starting to get a little depressing here, but that doesn't surprise me at all, despite all that, right? Future slide as dollar jumps. All right, Europe under siege. Yeah, they're under siege by idiots and Marxists. All right, okay, I guess I better stop here. Well, Wall Street silver, I'd like to say a big shout out to all the silver apes out there. Keep stacking out there. And again, best deals out there or anything you can spend. Don't pay more than $4 per ounce premium on any silver. I don't care how pretty it is, unless you're just kind of collecting pretty things. If you're stacking and you're a serious stacker, 1 ounce, 10 ounce, and 100 ounce silver bars seem the best deal out there. You can pick them up at most places for under $4. We have a better deal than that, actually, and we advertise to beat APMEX, JM, and SD bullion anyway. You know that I say that on every video. We're a local business only, though. So you silver apes out there that don't live in my area, find a good local business. Find a good local coin store or silver store. Keep that money local. There's nothing wrong with APMEX, JM, and SD bullion. I mean, they're good companies, I believe. I don't know much about their, what's going on with them, but they seem to be good companies. However, spend that money local. Once you send it to those guys, man, that money leaves your state forever. It's not coming back. Keep that money local. It's very important, because that money, when you buy something local at a local business, it's spent locally. It's a good deal for everyone. And again, most local guys should be able to beat the online resellers. It's easy to do. I can do it pretty easily. Not only can I beat APMEX, JM, and SD bullion, I can also offer really good advice and face-to-face, a smile, and I'll remember who they are when they come back, most likely. So will my employees. Well, again, big shout out to the apes out there. Happy Thanksgiving, and have yourself a good one. Keep stacking. Let's just take a look at yesterday's video here. Gold and silver price report. Actually, it was called the money. No, it wasn't the Money of Kings. Yesterday was. I'm not sure if you like my title, but let's take a look at it here. Take it up the period, or fight back. I was a little agitated yesterday, as you could tell, but still, I had fun with that video. And I get a little agitated about these price knocks, but I know where it's going ultimately. I get agitated because it not for me. I'm not nervous. I'm not thinking about selling. I don't panic. I don't even care. I've seen this happen for so many years with this price manipulation. What worries me is the new guy getting into it. I mean, he just spent some serious money that he's worked really hard for, and then he's got to see this monkey hammering that's allowed by the CFTC and allowed by COMEX. That's disheartening. You know what I mean? And some of these guys sell. They don't know better. So it's just a freaking shame, and it's criminal. It's criminal. But here, I digress again. Let me go into yesterday's video, which was take it up the something or fight back. And I'm one of those guys that likes to fight back, and I think you are too. Give me 1 second here. What do we got going on? Now, I'm going to just answer questions here, but I want to acknowledge all the folks that comment on it. Yeah, I would agree. I think Shinola for 2024 would be a winning bet over what we've got right now. And Tim, fraud is evil for sure. Hey, good deal there, Thomas. And Last Living Cowboy, yeah, I don't think so, man. You're going to have to get in a time machine for that, sir. Thanks for commenting. Hey, Alex, what's up? And yeah, I did some today as well. And Jason says, I bought $25,000 worth of Silver Eagles. I'm doing it for long term, set a short term. Jason, I'm sorry, I don't quite get the question here. Rephrase it to me, but whether, I'm not sure I understand it, but whether you're doing it for short term or long term, buying silver is not a bad idea. I'm not a fan of the Silver Eagles, though. I mean, if you bought them and you bought them for less than $5 an ounce premium, fine. But over that, not a good deal, Jason. But since you got them already, just hang on, hold on. I think any kind of silver is a good deal right now. And you won't regret owning them, even though I do think they're overpriced on the premium. Thanks for watching, Jason, and thanks for commenting. Robert says, don't buy paper. They're only sheets for your copier or to wipe your ass with, may I add. Chase Bank wants to invest my money to enhance their position. You can't buy the dip with high premiums. You can still get, so, hey, listen, the dip right now, about $1, it was high as 25 bucks almost. My premiums haven't changed. I'm still at spot plus 3 1/4 on 100 ounce bars, which is a really good deal. 903 Boater says, like George Carlin said, it's a big, yeah, it is. It's a big fucking club. And folks, you're not in it. I think that is almost closer to what he said, and it's true. Thomas Crompton says, we are living in USA, best gold to buy is Eagles and Buffaloes. I'm not really sure that I'm not a Buffalo and Eagle fan, but they're not bad. The premiums on them have come down. They used to be 200 bucks over. Now they're closer to like 120 to 130, which is more reasonable. But I still like bars. They're spot plus 80 bucks, and KRs and Maples, which are spot plus 90 or 95 now. Thanks for watching, Thomas. Keep stacking. Gomer, you came to the right place today again for some potty mouth comments. Thanks. James says, PM's got slammed, no worry. Yes, that's true. Keep buying, keep stacking. Gritty, absolutely. And because Powell stays ahead of the Fed and he won't raise interest rates and won't stop QE, the stock market party will continue. I don't know, man. That's kind of interesting. Let's see what happens. Hey, Z, what's up? Slow and steady does win the race. Hey, Joey, enjoy your coffee. In fact, take a sip of mine. 1 sec. Good black coffee. It's getting a little cold, though. I got to refresh that. Hey, Brian, do you think there'll be capitulation if more and more people keep quitting their jobs? Lots of crazy shit happening without a job, no fail. There's a good chance they might have to use some. I hope not, but I see a storm in the horizon. Yeah, well, it's nice. You know what? I hate to see people sell their silver and gold, and people do come in and sell to me their silver and gold. And I don't mean to be nosy, but I usually tell them, hey, why are you selling? It's not a good time to sell, which I don't mind. I'd rather have them come back and get more money later, when it's higher, and they'll be happy with me, and I'll still make the money later. I'm not like, oh, great, sell now. So I do tell people often when I see these markets low, hey, it's time to buy, not sell. And oftentimes I'll hear from a lot of people, well, I got to pay for this, I got to pay for that, I got a bill I pay for. And I feel bad for them, but I don't rub it in at all. I say, okay, hey, at least you got it. The nice thing about having gold and silver is you have it. But I often will tell them, are there other assets you can sell besides your silver? So it's true. Hey, I don't think there's going to be much capitulation on gold and silver until prices start getting into that skyrocket territory. And they will. When they do, I'll even be a seller and I'll buy back in when it drops a little bit. Even gold and silver getting bubbles, folks. It's true. It's up, Hager the Hodler. Low prices, Black Friday sales. I hope you're able to stack some good stuff here. And LGB, yep, that's for sure. Imagine purchasing an advertised real estate property. You receive a certificate saying you own the house. You go to the address, but there's no house there. You only own a piece of paper saying you own a house. Well, yeah, I believe that. That's kind of what the ETF market kind of is. It's just a piece of paper saying you own gold and silver. And crypto is not even that. Crypto doesn't even say you own a piece of gold and silver. It says you own, what is it you own? Sorry, being a smartass again. Joe had a feeling this would happen right before Thanksgiving. Yep, I did. I thought it would happen next week, honest Jojo. Like I said in the beginning, I forgot it was Thanksgiving this week. Thanks, Brian. Well, thank you for watching. I appreciate it, D, and keep hanging on there. Well, I think that's it, man. Happy Thanksgiving to all my peeps out there. Keep stacking. Maybe I'll do a video on Friday. I'll let you know. I wanted to take tomorrow off and Friday off, but Friday is really not an official holiday, so maybe I'll do a short video, maybe not. Can't promise, I'll let you know. We'll see what happens in the markets, too. Well, hey, that's it. This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. Call me anytime between 10 and 4, Mondays through Fridays. And as you know, I'm a local brick and mortar only, so if you live outside my area, unfortunately, I can't sell you precious metals or anything. But if you're in my area, come on by. Again, happy to deal with you. And like I said, if you're not in my area, find yourself a good local guy or go a good local store for coins and precious metals. You won't regret it. You'll keep the money local, even if you have to pay a tad more. Keep it local, folks. Hey, happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye now.